Hi everyone, it's Andrea over at Sewspire.com, and today we are here to assemble the interior of the City Slicker 2. If you are just joining us, this is a brand new messenger style of bag that is in the works. At the end of this 4-part video tutorial, I will have a PDF tutorial which you can purchase to supplement, and that tutorial will include all the pattern measurements and very concise written instructions. I will link to my Etsy pattern shop down in the notes if you would like to have a look at my other patterns. And then, as mentioned, as soon as this video series wraps up and I have a completed bag, I will publish the PDF tutorial or design board, I call them, for this particular project, which I am calling the City Slicker 2. I just want to give you a quick overview of what we have so far. We have 2 front slip pockets, and this is quilted flannel. Then we have 2 very narrow side pockets. We have the strap connectors and rivets on the side there. And then along the back is a full-length exterior zipper pocket. And this is going to be a great size for everyday use. I'm hoping my computer will fit in there, but an iPad will definitely fit. So as mentioned, today we're going to start crafting the interior. The exterior is very stable, so I am not adding interfacing to the interior body panels on purpose because I doubt very seriously I would be able to clear all of the seams if I did. That being said, I do have some Pellon 808 interfacing on the interior pocket, which I'll show you, and then just a bit across the back where I will be attaching the zipper top closure, because this bag is going to have a recessed zipper top closure and a flap closure so that the contents of those front pockets on the exterior are also secure. So what I would like to do is begin by setting up our little swivel key fob, because I'm going to attach the swivel key fob in between the layers of the pocket. And so this is just a strip of the vegan leather which does not fray, and what I want to do is go ahead and stitch a box around that so that everything stays in place. And so I'm just going to put that up on the machine and stitch my little box. And then if you wanted, you could also add some rivets to this. Those would be purely decorative, and I think I will go ahead and do that because I've done that on other fobs and it does look really pretty. If you are not familiar, this is a cam press, and I will give you a good view of what that looks like. It comes with dies, they call them, that you use to install the various hardware. And so I'm going to set this up to punch a hole in the leather. And so this is the hole punch die. And I just want to put 2 holes in this right at the center. And I'm going to stagger those. And that's what the holes look like. And then I need to swap these out and put in the dies that go with the rivets. And then if you're not familiar, the rivets are just little posts and caps. And so you insert the post through the hole and then put the cap on the back there. And they just pop on, nice and simple. And then you put that up on the press. That's all it takes, and your rivet is installed. And so I'm just going to add the second rivet there. And then give that a good press. And you can see it really does take that basic strap to the next level. I'm really happy with this purchase. Okay, so now what I want to do is tuck this key fob in between the layers of this exterior pocket. So this exterior pocket is also crafted from the flannel, and I back that with the Pellon 808. And then I pressed over the top and the bottom edge, and then I folded that pocket in half. And I like to slightly stagger that top edge just a bit there. And I'm just going to tuck the key fob in between about halfway on what will be one of two divided pockets, and so it's just in between the interior and the exterior layers there. And then I'm going to put this up on the machine and stitch across there. I will insert this key fob as soon as I get it up on the deck. I don't like to pin through that leather, and a clip isn't going to hold it anyway, so as I get closer, actually what I can do is just insert that here and make it on this left hand side of the pocket instead. So I have the raw edge of the key fob tucked in between the two layers. I'm going to run one row of stitching across to secure everything, and then a second row for detail. And so that's what that looks like there. And then the key fob will over time start to lay flat, but it can be worn on the outside of the pocket or on the inside of the pocket, and obviously the weight of the keys is going to help that along. So here is my pocket, which is nice and stable. Now I'm going to position that on a interior body panel, and as mentioned, I have that Pellon 808 at the top. That's where the zipper is going to be attached, and I definitely am going to want that interfaced. So this pocket is going on one of the interior panels 2 inches up from the base, and I will hold that up for you so that you can see that positioning a little better. And so I'm going to stitch across the base and then down the center to divide that pocket. Okay, so I have my interior pocket panel prepped. Now what I want to do is start to work on this zipper panel, which is going to be framed out with the faux leather. And the way that I opted to do that was to take a 3 by 10 inch cut of that leather and then fold it in half, wrong sides facing, And I'm just going to box this out by sewing around all 4 sides so that it is nice and secure. And I'm just using a 1/4 inch seam allowance for that. And that faux leather will kind of twist. That's okay, because by the time it gets attached to the bag and the zipper, it will stabilize itself. If it shifted just a smidgen on those outer edges, what you can do is take a clear acrylic ruler and a rotary cutter and just trim that up to like 1/8 of an inch from that seam, and that will just make the edges nice and straight, which will make it easier for you when you're attaching the zipper and assembling the bag. And so you can see how that just straightens that out nice. And you can do the sides as well if you like. And it's just very little bit of excess there, but it does give you a nicer clean look there. And so next what you want to do is position this little frame that we're making for the zipper on top of the zipper tape. And I am using a 12-inch cut of zipper by the yard. I definitely want to have some excess on this so that I can put some little zipper caps, I call them, at the end. It's a piece of faux leather which we're going to fold over. So what you need to do is, and this is easier to do if the zipper is zipped, just position the raw edge, so there's a folded side and a raw edge side. Position the raw edge right up against those zipper teeth and then attach that to the zipper tape. And that's what it looks like there. I don't love the underside of this, but the way this bag is going to be, the proportions, I'm not ever really going to see it, so I think it's okay. But I did consider perhaps gluing another piece of faux leather to that underside to make that a little prettier, so that's an option for you if you like. Okay, so this is what I have so far. I also suppose you could sandwich the zipper tape in between those layers, but that might make it difficult for you to get a nice straight zipper frame, so there is a trade-off there, but we'll see how this comes together in the end. So anyways, the next thing that I want to do is cap off these zipper ends so I don't accidentally unzip my zipper pull right off the end of this. So I just want to make sure those teeth are nice and aligned at the end. And then I'm going to take a 2 by 2 inch cut of the faux leather, and I'm just going to position that on the end of that zipper, the little zipper tape there right at center, and I will go ahead and clip that so that it stays put, and I'm going to set up the opposite side in the same way. And I'm just folding that right over that zipper tape. And this end of the zipper tape is a little longer, so I'm going to trim that back. Okay, so this is what it looks like right now. And now I'm going to do the same thing and just stitch a box around all 4 sides of that zipper stop so that it is securely attached. Then I'm going to repeat that for the second zipper stop. Okay, so I have attached the tabs to that, and I just want to double check that the zipper functions. I am really happy with the look of this on the top, and it is getting a little more stability now that I attach the side tabs to that. Don't love that look underneath. Another great solution would be to use a zipper that had navy tape. Then it would not be so obvious, but I am not going to see that underside, or at least I shouldn't, so I think it's going to be fine. This is all you're going to see, and this side looks really nice. So now what I want to do is bring over the interior body panel that does not have any pockets attached to it, but it does have that pellon on the back where this zipper is going to attach to it. And I want to measure 2 inches down from the top of that and center this little zipper frame right on that, so it's 1 inch in from each side, and the 1 inch is from the actual original zipper frame, not the tabs, and then 2 inches down from the top, and that's what that looks like. And I'm just going to stitch right across there. I want to make sure that's nice and straight since I'm not going to be pinning or clipping this. There's not really a good way to pin or clip this. And so I'm just going to stitch right down that original row of stitching that I used to box out that frame, and I'm going to back stitch really well at the beginning and the end. And now I have attached one side of that zipper frame to this interior panel, and you can see that interfacing offers that stitching some stability. Now I have the base panel already in place on this particular interior panel, and so I am going to stitch right across that and join those 2 panels using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. will create the two-way panel that you all are used to seeing with the T method. And we are using the modified T method to construct this. So I have my two-way panel here. Now I need to create my three-way panel. So just a reminder, I already have that interfacing on the back of this pocket panel. So I'm going to be positioning the side panels on the right and the left hand sides of this interior pocket panel. And in case you're curious, this interior is crafted from corduroy, which has a little bit of stretch, and I was considering using the interfacing, but it will be way too much given how stiff the exterior is. Okay, so you can see I have my side panels in place using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm going to go ahead and join those. Okay, and that's what the interior looks like. This corduroy again has stretch, so I opted to go ahead and just sew in that little pucker versus stretch it and distort the panel. You're never gonna notice that. The inside of this is so compact that I'm not gonna see that. And I got another little one up there. It's really better to do that than distort it and have my sides all wonky. This corduroy, you know, is so soft and wonderful. It does shed, and I am covered in it, but after I get all the raw edges encased, that won't happen. But it reminds me of velvet. It feels like velvet. So this is going to be a really fun bag to use. So I have the tri-folding panel ready. Now I want to bring back over the double panel there, the two-way panel with the zipper, and I want to center that right sides facing, aligning the bases, and I'm going to be stitching seam to seam, and this is going to create the larger T, hence the T method. Seam to seam is different than end to end. Okay, so now I have my T. The zipper panel is at the bottom of that. This is the front interior panel. This is the base of the interior. This is the rear interior panel, and these are the sides. The next step is to align the base of the sides with the side of the base. And so I just like to do those one at a time, and this is a small enough side that you don't need to pin or clip. Just align everything, and again, sew seam to seam. And then repeat that process on the other side. And so now my stage is set. It looks like a little stage here with the sides and the back wall. And then what I need to do next is bring up this opposite panel with the zipper. So I'm kind of just letting that fall naturally. And I want to position that free end of that zipper frame 2 inches down on that pocket panel, so that the stitch line is going to fall right within that interfacing that I have on the back. And so you're definitely going to want to measure and center that on your panel. And because you have the sides on, you're going to have to measure with your ruler. And so I have that in place here. I'm going to just hold that and bring it over to the machine deck and stitch that zipper in place. And again, I'm just stitching right on top of that original stitching. The lines in the corduroy do make it easy to line this up. And that's what it looks like after it is attached, and you can see how that sits in there. Now the next step is for me to go ahead and attach those sides on both sides, so that zipper is going to offer some resistance there. And so I want to make sure that I align those top edges first, because that's where you're going to get the most resistance. And I'll put a clip right about where that zipper is too, just so I can keep those sides nice and straight. And it's slightly more of a challenge just because this corduroy is meant really for sewing clothing, but I just love the look of this corduroy with that flannel and the quilting. So go ahead and use several clips and get that in place. And I'm going to repeat that for the opposite side as well, so that when I head over to the machine, I can sew both sides. Okay, and that's what that looks like. So that zipper gives you a really nice secure closure. You could probably fit like 2 fingers, but not very far on the side. And once it's inside the interior, it's going to be even less. Plus, you're going to have your flat closure. But overall, I'm really pleased with that look. So again, the next step for me is to sew down the right and the left hand sides of this 5/8 of an inch seam allowance to secure those sides. Okay, I have the interior assembled. It by itself does not have a lot of body, but the zipper frame definitely adds stability at the top, and the pocket interfacing adds stability along the back. And then this exterior has the Annie Soft and Stable quilted into the pockets, plus the Pellon 70 along the body, base, and sides. I also used a layer of the Annies in the base, so whatever I put inside of here is going to be well protected, that's for sure. So I definitely did not think it was necessary to use interfacing anywhere on the interior other than just really to reinforce those stress points. So what I need to do next is take that top edge and fold that over about an inch. And in this case, I definitely want to open up those seams to evenly distribute that bulk. Just the interior by itself is not much bulk, but I am coming into heavy duty seams up here, and every little bit is going to help. So I want to open those and then fold this over. Again, that's just about an inch, a nice finished edge there. And open that zipper up so you can see what's happening on the inside. It looks great, really nice. The yellow is going to be a fun color for the interior because it makes it really easy to see inside. It reflects a lot of light, so that's fabulous. All right, so I have the interior ready to fit inside of the exterior. So I want these pockets to fall against the back of the bag where the zipper pocket is. So that's how I'm gonna slide that inside of there. And I like to begin by aligning the side seams first. And then I come back around the front and the back to get those all nicely aligned. And then once I get the top aligned, then I reach inside and start fitting that interior. And that corduroy should definitely grip that pellon, so you just have to work to smooth that out. Really pretty, wonderful, accessible. I can reach the key fob, but it's not exposed. And let me check the function on the zipper. Also good. I'll show you what that looks like. Really nice. Super happy with this look. And again, once I get it all finished and all the raw edges encased, then I can lint roll it, and that lint, which is coming from the corduroy, won't be such a problem. I'd love to know what you think of the bag so far. If y'all drop me a comment, that'd be so great. With the handles, I'm going to use pre-made webbing, and I might add a faux leather accent or flannel accent to it. I'm not totally decided on that yet, so you can look forward to that. So the next step for us, next week we will craft the exterior flap, which is going to come off of this side here. I'm leaning towards a press lock closure on this as well. I'm hoping I can find it in the antique brass. And the flap has the quilted flannel underneath and the faux leather on the front of that. And then we are also going to be installing a little tiny side zipper pocket on the flap. So that'll be another really fun design element for you and a challenge for me as a designer, because this is the first time I am crafting a bag exactly like this. The bag itself was inspired by the original City Slicker, which is not a messenger bag but has similar proportions. So we're improving that design, but there's a lot of really unique elements about this bag that are not found in the original City Slicker. So I hope you like it. I hope you are enjoying the process, how it's unfolding. We have probably 2 more videos in this series. We're going to craft the flap with the zipper next week and the handle. And then in the final week, we're going to talk about how much it costs to make this bag and how you should price this bag if you intend to make it and sell it, or just how you would want to value the bag if you're going to make it and give it away, or simply how you would value the bag if you just wanted a value to assign to it. So there are lots of benefits to knowing how much your projects cost you to make, and that is going to be one of the cornerstones of my instruction going into 2022. We will always wrap up with a discussion about how much it costs to make the project. So I hope you find that useful. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. And as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you. I hope you all have a beautiful week, and I hope to see you on Friday for my inspirational vlog.